want to make sure that I acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley, because Tiege Hanley sent me this new pack. They sent me the new Tiege pack, so I just literally pulled the paper out, got it out of the mail, and I started going through it, and I got a little bit more excited than I should. You know what I'm saying? So they did send me the Tiege pack, and I don't even know what this is yet. So I'm assuming this is what you get when you first order your Tiege, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is dope. This is absolutely dope. Is this a nail kit? Ladies, get this for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. This is free. This just comes with it. 30% off your first order, plus 20% off for life. Literally. Oh, snaps. I didn't know that they were sending it like this. Real talk. So this is the nail kit that they sending you. All right. So now you ain't looking like a dusty. This is a free gift straight from Tiege for the people that ordered the Tiege. They got the small one for the little hands like mine's. They got the big joints for your toenails. And then they got the joints at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that's a little bit more crustier than usual. All right, so that's one of the free gifts that Tiege got inside of the pack. And then, what is this? Says, squeeze a quarter-size amount of Tiege Hanley body wash on the center of the wet bristles. Lather, scrub, rinse, and repeat for the perfectly satisfying wash every time. So that's inside of there also, right? Ooh, I can get my rubber ducky on right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege for sending me that uncomplicated skincare for men. And then what we got in here? We got the actual Tiege pack, right? So this is the normal Tiege pack, but then they gave me the supersized joint for the people. They wanted me to show the people exactly what they got when they ordered that first Tiege pack, when you're getting your 30% off your first order, and then you get your free gifts. You get 2 free gifts, and then the 20% off for life. So the 20% off for life is a new thing. And man, I ain't even got my keys on me to open this up. Maybe I can use the little nail clipper thing. I ain't got to buy no nail clipper for my new joint downtown. And then you get all of the washes, all of the scrubs, all of the AM, the PMs, and all of that stuff. So you got the whole thing inside of there for you to make sure you take care of yourself. But you got to make sure you take care of it every day. Right? We don't want to miss days. We don't want to be looking like dusties. It does not absolve you from being able to make sure that you brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It don't fix the teeth problem. Don't fix you ironing your clothes. Don't fix you being able to take care of your business. But it absolutely makes sure that your skin is phenomenal, even when you're going between shaves. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege Hanley. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. I might do an official Tiege commercial, but I like just talking authentically to the people. I like giving the people the authentic look of what it is that you're dealing with, and I want you to hear from me personally, because anybody can do that little pitch and they can make some little videos, but very few of us can actually speak to the products of exactly what it is that you're supposed to use. So yeah, Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order, and then 20% off for life. That's the Anton Daniels pack, 20% off for life. Using any other Tiege pack, make sure that you go ahead and let that go. And make sure you tap into the link that's in the description and take care of it, all right? What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is Friday. Woo! This was a long week. Friday, July 12th, 2024, year of our Lord. What up, friends and family? What's happening? What up? I want to acknowledge some of the people that was a Cash App me yesterday and Cash App me today, because I was using the device that I got Cash App on to actually use as a camera. But we got a full-fledged show for you today and tonight. We do not miss. Hey, are y'all enjoying the fact that I've had the internet on lock, on fire, trending over the last 2 weeks? What's up, Molly? I gotta acknowledge you, baby, because I realized that you did send me something yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to be able to read it because I was sleepy, and then we was streaming with the same camera that I got the whole 9 yards. So, what up, friends? What's up, family? How y'all doing? I hope that everybody has had a phenomenal week. It's been a long week, but we ain't done yet because we got to make sure that we get Mika here. So Mika's in Detroit, or she will be in Detroit this afternoon. So I got to bring my baby girl in, and we gonna be cooking up, and we gonna be working, and we gonna be doing content. And we got after hours tonight, so that's going to be absolutely lit. If y'all did not join after hours last night, you did miss out on a phenomenal show. And so I enjoy you guys continuing to rock with me. Had some ideas, had my dog 2K up there. And we've been having the internet on lock. We've been having the internet on lock. I don't know what's going on. Hold on one second. All right. Felt like I had got like some lotion in my eyes. You know, you don't be trying to be dusty. We get the Tiege Hanley, and then, you know, we get some lotion on our way in to make sure that we ain't dusty when we having this conversation on the live. Felt like I got some lotion in my eyes. Anyways, we are here. We are rocking. It is Friday, 7th month of the year. If you're not a bag chaser, then you're not going to know about the meetup up in Houston. So we're going to be in Houston at the end of this month. I got some big ideas that's probably going to cost me a lot of money if we implement it. But we discussed that last night. What up to all of the chasers? What up to everybody in the chat? I see y'all. What's going on? We got the internet on lock, y'all. Hate videos bring visibility too. We love it. They don't like it when you even show the receipts. But we here. Shout out to all of my Hebrew Israelites and they dusty people that's with them. Oh, we play chestnut checkers out here in these streets. Make sure y'all get Tiege Hanley 40% off your first order, plus 20% off of life. What up, Trini Life? Trini Life says, bless up to you, bro. Hope all is good, sick in bed, but I'm watching you. Well, hopefully, first of all, hopefully you get better. And then secondly, after that, hopefully I can keep you entertained while you're there. So I always like to make sure that I hold people down and we get it in. I want to give a shout out to, first of all, my dog, Mike that dude. On Cash App. Shout out to Mike that dude, hold me down. Shout out to my girl, Molly. Molly all up in her drink. She ain't even know it. Shout out to my girl, Molly says. Shout out to the panel. Always fun to watch. That's from last night. So, Molly, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm never going to let a day go without thanking you. Mike that dude again. I also want to give you a shout out for this morning. Ollie Collins. What up, Ollie Collins? I appreciate you for holding me down on Cash App. And then my rich friend. Shout out to my rich friend. Jesus Christ. Chris James says, the episode with Bianca officially got him celibate now. If y'all didn't watch that episode from a few days ago from last Wednesday, you know the show that I replaced Freezy on, or they say I replaced Freezy on. If y'all didn't watch that one, you got to go and check it out. It is a great show. It hit. People loved it. And we bringing her back for a part 2. All right. Shout out to Chris James. Thank you, my friend, for being my rich friend. And we get into it. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Let me read a couple more super chats. Gray Way is in the building, says, good morning, AD chat, and Uncle Robert. Shout out to Uncle Robert. If y'all not here every day, you're not going to catch the references. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Uncle Robert out here being broke and getting it in. All right, y'all. Let's get it to it. Nothing left to it but to do it. First and foremost, you know what we do, man. Quick hits. Quick hits is a segment of the show. Hey, listen, I'm petty. I'm sorry. I'm a petty person. And the older that I get, the more I become like your grandparents, the more belligerent I become because I don't be caring and I don't have no mercy no more. People don't got no mercy for me and I don't have no mercy for you or anything that you stand for. And so now you've turned me into a supervillain. You've turned me into a supervillain. I used to be, wanting the best for people. Now I only want the best for my chasers. I'm going to read that shortly. Marriage, politics, and sports. Somebody saying Anton sounds a little under the weather this morning. No, you know what? I don't get a lot of sleep during the week. Y'all see me. Y'all see I be working, and throughout the day I be having meetings and going to check out with people and all of that. Y'all better keep me up in prayer. If y'all want to stay entertained, y'all better keep me up in prayer and make sure that I'm taken care of. Anyways, let's get into quick hits. I'm going to read those super chats shortly. First things first, they say that U.S. postal workers is out here stealing. Stealing. Can you believe it? Why would you steal from the U.S. Postal Service and you know you're going to get Fed numbers? You're getting football numbers. Let's get to it.
A major theft from a mail facility at JFK Airport. 2 postal workers have now been arrested, and they're accused of stealing Treasury checks, maybe worth even as much as $40 million. News 4's Gus Rosendale joining us from the newsroom tonight with what else we've learned, Gus.
Well, Natalie, detectives with the NYPD tell us they were initially tipped off by a bank that red flagged suspicious deposits, and they end up joining forces with federal authorities, and that joint effort led to arrests earlier today.
What you guys do? What happened?
Tonight,
look at the usual suspects. Look at them. All of them. But they've been stealing, so they braids and they dreads is a little bit better than everybody else's. Usually, you know what I'm saying, you'll get you some people, some dread heads, some dusty dusties. They still fit the description, but my man, he got on a clean white tee. And my white tee, you see his friend back there, he taking care of business. They got the dreads on. I was talking to a police officer that I coach from a financial perspective, and he was giving me some insight on what they look for a lot of times. So if you work certain jobs, for example, right, and they start seeing you riding cleaner than everybody else, or you standing out, or you got your earrings on and your drip, drip, drip. I know y'all say don't stereotype, but that's the way we catch criminals, right? And you out here and you moving a certain way. The first thing that they're going to do is get a little bit suspicious. Hey, man, he's standing out a little bit more than everybody else. So he got a second job. He got a business. He got, a wife that's over here working too. What's going on? What's happening? You pulling up in something foreign that costs $150,000 just to do a job that take you $20 an hour? And if they can't put 2 and 2 together, then they're going to get a little bit more suspicious. And y'all say don't judge, but I think that judging ultimately leads to arrests. So, anyways, we got our usual suspects being led out of the post office, the U.S. Postal Service at JFK. Let's learn a little bit more about them.
These suspects are accused of conspiring to steal more than 100 checks worth millions of dollars from the JFK mail facility.
We uncovered really a point of compromise, and that point of compromise was JFK Post Office.
Prosecutors believe it's the biggest theft at JFK since the famous Lufthansa heist in 1978, when about $6 million in cash and jewelry was stolen from the airport.
You're right,
United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Breon Peace, said in a statement, criminals who cash in on checks stolen from the mail can expect to fill out change of address forms for the federal prison they will be calling home. 2 of the defendants, prosecutors say, worked for the Postal Service. 3 others are charged with endorsing and depositing what investigators describe as stolen checks issued by the U.S. Treasury, mainly heading to international destinations.
These are checks that people are waiting for. These are checks that people are waiting for their livelihood.
New at 6, we've learned that included Social Security benefits, COVID stimulus checks, and tax refunds. Indictments charge at least $4 million was stolen. However, NYPD detectives think a lot more was taken.
When we look at ledgers that have been recovered and phone records and the like, our investigative theory is that over $40 million has been fraudulently either obtained or affected. So it's a big number.
A team of local and federal law enforcement has been working on the case for the past year and a half.
These are individuals working at the post office that we entrust. We give really a sacred trust to, right? To deliver everything with integrity.
So let me ask y'all a question. As y'all go out and y'all get these jobs that the public entrust y'all to, and you decide, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and rip off the public and run it up and get a bag, and we're going to take $40 million in checks. Okay, cool. So you decided to be a white-collar criminal. You're leveraging your position. Eventually, they're going to trace it back to you because they're going to continue to flag where all of these checks are coming from. All right. Point number 2. Point number 3 is multiple people involved in this operation. So all you need is for one person to talk or slip or get caught up, and then everybody going to get busted because he's not going to keep his mouth shut, and he going to want to get the best sentence. And so the first person to get caught is the first person that get the best sentence because they're going to snitch on everybody else. Here's my question for this. At what point do you say, you know what? We've been doing this for 6 years, 6+ years, or at least a year. Let's say a year. Let's give it a year and a half, right? Because they've been investigating for at least a year. When do you say, all right, we won, we got to run it up? We ran it up. We got a whole bunch of money stashed away somewhere. We're going to go to some other country where you can't extradite. And we chilling. At what point do you say, we done, boss? We won, boss. We not doing no more fraud. We not doing nothing else. Is it a month? Is it 2 months? Do you do it one time and then you know that you ain't gonna get caught because you did your dirt by your lonely? What's the play here? What's the play here? I don't understand criminals. I don't understand the criminal mindset. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Anyways, neither here nor there. This is Quick Hit, so we're not going to stay on just one story. We got to make sure that we address everything. A police chase ends in a shooting, and I think I know who the culprit is. Check it out.
It's almost like a movie scene. Everything happened just one thing after the other.
What y'all be looking like over there in L.A.? What the heck is going on, man?
It's almost like a movie scene.
What kind of tattoo is that that's going up and down like that with 2 bars? I guess the weirder you are, the more exotic you become in a lot of people's minds. I don't know.
Everything happened just one thing after the other.
But it was real. A carjacking and wild pursuit ends with a crash and gunshot.
Good evening. Welcome to Fox 7 News at 10. I'm Alex Michelson.
And I'm Christine Devine. A dangerous and destructive pursuit turns into a standoff. The carjacking suspects, though, not giving up.
Deputies opened fire. Fox 11's Ed Lascos live with more from the Harvard Heights area where this all ended. Ed.
Yeah, it ended here, and that eyewitness saying it looked like something out of a Hollywood movie, but this is certainly the real deal. Just getting an update from the LA County Sheriff's Department a few moments ago. The suspected carjacker shot by the deputies. He is still alive this late hour, listed as critical, but the scene here is still a major crime scene. Joe will give you a quick look around. This is the corner of Vermont and Venice. Through the sea of red flashing lights there, you can make out that dark Toyota. That's the one. The suspected car driver led deputies. Hour-long pursuit, sideswiping a couple of vehicles, attempting to ram a couple of the deputies' black and white cruisers, and then it ends here dramatically with gunfire. Watch this. The violent ending to a dramatic pursuit. A suspected carjacker up against a light pole on the sidewalk, pinned in by the sheriff deputies, but he is still not giving up, revving his engine, smoking his tires, apparently trying to ram the deputies. They feel the threat and open fire.
It was my first time hearing live shots, so it was very scary. But also, when I got off my car, I seen like a few cops kind of like locked in arms, that protective shield, because I think the person inside the car may have also had a gun.
Gunfire blasting out the back window of the gray Toyota. The bullets even ripping through the windshield. The suspect inside, he's hit. He's pulled out of the bullet-ridden car and rushed to the ER. His condition unknown, as the sidewalk is turned into a pool of blood after bullets fly.
It was very loud. I can't compare it. It's almost like a movie scene. Everything happened just one thing after the other. Yes, yeah, the car like just drove by me, but I thought it was just any other car. I didn't think that it was a persecute.
A dangerous pursuit that ran for an hour from East LA to here at Harvard Heights, closing Vermont and Venice, one of the busiest intersections in the city. It's taped off and shut down for hours, leaving evening commuters caught right in the middle of this mess.
Well, I was just driving around trying to look for a place to eat, and just casually just waiting for the light, just like everyone else. So it's one of those days.
So that's what happened over there in L.A. And then last but not least, Chicago. What up, Chicago? Check it out. Man got stomped out by a bunch of teens. Or I'm sorry, a large gathering. Take a look.
Now to a man beat up on the Orange Line by a group of more than a dozen kids. Tonight, he's sharing his story.
It happened downtown Monday night at about 11:15. Elizabeth Matthews spoke with the victim and has the latest. Elizabeth.
The victim is a lifelong Chicagoan, 63 years old, just trying to get home from work Monday night on the Orange Line after he says a 12-hour workday when a group of kids got on his train and he became a target.
This was surreal. I think I was just so shocked. I think I kind of went numb.
Michael Manning was heading home from work Monday night on the Orange Line after 11, when at the LaSalle Van Buren stop downtown, a group of kids got on his train car.
I knew right away that this was not going to go well.
Y'all say don't judge. I call it a spidey sense. Y'all always say, oh man, don't judge. You don't know. It's just a large gathering of people that are going to a bar mitzvah. Nah. You already know. People already know when a bad element step on the train. He already knew, and first person to move is the first person that gets slapped up.
No matter what I said or did.
He says nothing happened until
I stood up, and I'm 6'4", and I guess that was not a good move because I immediately got punched in the back of the head.
Dude got up to move his seat. He got up to make some adjustments. He didn't want to be surrounded. Dude stood up. No matter how tall you are, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's what they said.
Which sent me forward into the group, which of course they were like, oh, you're trying to start something with us. And then it was like I was literally running through a gauntlet of fists.
He says it was a group of more than a dozen boys and girls.
They just pounded on me. And I don't know. I just kind of knew I had to get off this car to not die.
He was able to get off one stop later at Quincy, but the group followed and continued the assault. They left him bloodied on the platform, stealing only a few of his belongings before jumping back on the train. He says it could have been much worse.
Jesus Christ. Hey, man. Last person there to turn the light out, man. The last person there in these liberal cities, these sanctuary cities, these blue cities, y'all cut the lights off, man. It's crazy. You can't even catch a public train home from work as a 6'3". Look, man, they beat the brakes off that dude. His neck. What's one of the most identifying objects on your body? Your neck, right? They stomped it. They beat the neck off of that dude. Of all of the things that I've seen in my life, I've seen black eyes, bloody lips, busted noses, teeth knocked out. They beat the brakes off this man's neck. These are demons. Only a demon can beat the brake off of your neck like that. Only a demon fight your neck. If they going for the neck, then that means that they have no home training. That is one of the clues that I'm going to keep you guys in on. If they go for the neck, that means that they have a zero home training.
And hopes the next victim escapes like he did.
I don't understand how you can have this type of lawlessness and wanton disregard for basic humanity, and there's no checks and balances anywhere.
Nope. Forget it, buddy.
He adds that he won't be taking the train anytime soon. He says Chicago police is working to try to track down footage as well as the CTA. We heard from...
Listen, you can't get away. You can't eat. Listen, if you don't want to take the train, you take the Uber. They shooting up the Ubers. They beating the brakes off the people on the trains. You can't get away, big dog. It's just inevitable. Last person in Chicago turned the lights off. I know y'all feeling some type of way. There was somebody that was feeling some type of way about Oakland yesterday. It's a lot of people always come to me, hey man, don't talk about Oakland. Don't talk about Chicago. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm one of those type of people that when you tell me not to do something, I do it more. So ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. All right, I'm going to read the super chats and then we're going to go straight to Oakland, as a matter of fact. Listen, if you want me to stop talking about something, then become better. Do better. Same thing we tell the women. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, good morning. Good morning, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. I appreciate you for tapping in and rocking out with us. Chase Barnes in the building says, happy Friday, AD and peeps. You were rocking that hat last night, Sheriff Daniels. The law. I fought the law, and the law won. Gardner in the War says, another paint day for Dr. Umar Johnson Finesse. Shout out to Umar Ifandunde, King Kong Consciousness. High Tolerance says, ninjas get too greedy, don't they? Don't they? They want everything. And then shout out to my dog Chase Barnes says, where's the Archdiocese at, Mayor Mohawk? I didn't even realize that I was pronouncing Archdiocese wrong until our educator, Mayor Mohawk, told us about it. So thank you, Mayor Mohawk. We appreciate you. And shout out to Chase Barnes and everybody that continues to support the platform, including Molly and Mike That Dude and Chris James and Sister. And let me give a round of applause for Sister again. Sister, another round of applause for you because it does not go unnoticed along with all of our other rich friends. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. They said don't talk about Oakland, y'all. All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and talk about Oakland. Okay, we here. What did I say? What have I been predicting over the past month or so? Might have been 2 months at this point. Maybe a month and a half. We'll just say a month and a half. What did I say was going to happen to Oakland? Sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than later. That's right. I did say that. What I said was Oakland was going to fall into bankruptcy eventually. So much dismay and disrepair and disregard for authority and love and your streets and taxpayers. I've been saying since the beginning of time, the Oakland takeover is already here. You can fight it. You can deny it. You can act like it won't exist. You can act like it's not going to happen. You can sit here and go back and forth with me. We can argue about it. But I'm not the one that is running the city into the ground. And what is the first step? How do I know that it's the first step? How do I know that it's the first step? Well, I've seen it happen in Pontiac, Michigan. I've seen it happen in Detroit. And what happens is it slowly but surely starts with the budget. Then it goes with crime. And then we start looking at corruption and raids. I'm from Michigan. I'm from Detroit. I've seen this play out 100% of the time. I wish that they had a Vegas bet so that I could make millions of dollars for this because I will bet the house on this. And then you start seeing a defunding of the police. You see more homelessness, right? The devaluing of properties. Businesses start leaving. Sports teams no longer want to be there. And the next thing you know, what's the next step? The very next step is that they can no longer police themselves. Somebody told me that is less than 30 officers. I don't know how true this is, but I'm just going to say it because that's what they said. Somebody told me it was 34 or less than 30 officers on a shift, per shift, to patrol the entire city of Oakland. Somebody told me that 30 officers or less are there, and that includes administrative, that includes the people that are overseeing the jail. They said 30 officers are left in Oakland per shift to patrol the entire city. And now the takeover begins because California and Gavin Newsom, who is the architect of a bad city, is now coming in and saying, listen, Oakland can't even police itself no more. They can't even afford police. They are operating at a budget deficit. And so what we're going to do is we're going to now have the California Highway Patrol, the staties, are coming in to police Oakland. Next thing you know, it's going to be the schools. It's all going down. It's all going bad. I'm telling you that Oakland will be the next major city, not small city, but major city to eventually file for bankruptcy. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. First of all, I want to show you what is happening in Oakland and what they can't catch and why they're not even looking for criminals because of this type of behavior happening right here.
This is a tragic and sad incident. And I'll say this, these are the actions of a coward. Yeah, our officers are hurt. We have, immediately last night, we called out our peer support teams. Our officers they're professionals, but they're also human beings, and so they are doing their best that they can. But they're going to stay focused on making sure that this family receives the justice that they deserve.
This tragic domestic incident played out on Kitty Hawk Road in Alameda on Wednesday night. Police believe the man shot and killed his wife, father-in-law, mother-in-law, and his 6-year-old son. A second 1-year-old boy was also shot and is in the hospital in critical.
Now, this is not Oakland. This is Alameda Police. But this is happening. This is the type of behavior that's happening in California, y'all.
condition. As you can imagine, neighbors are shaken up by this tragedy. Some tell me they heard the gunshots last night, but thought it was fireworks left over from the 4th of July. Unfortunately, it was much more gruesome than that.
I raised my kids here. I'm a mom, I'm a grandma.
Is that Wilson in the back? Is that Wilson?
And you can't process how that happens. And I can't. Yeah, it's too much.
That's pretty unbelievable, you know, we take for granted our safety here. Like I said, we go out for walks early in the morning, and we live with with our family. We know our neighbors, and to know that this type of violence took place here is pretty scary.
And police say the suspect did not resist, is in custody now, and is no longer a danger. We're told the family had recently moved to that home. The police chief says multiple shots were fired and that they found multiple firearms in the home. Police are not releasing the suspect's name yet, but tell me he will be charged with murder and attempted murder. And the police chief says the father-in-law made it out of the home, went to the neighbor's home to ask for help, and made
father-in-law
some statements that they are now reviewing. It's unclear what led
the father-in-law
up to this tragedy, but just so sad. And as you can imagine, so many neighbors have come up to us and are just so saddened by what.
Well, we don't have to worry about it because we know that Gavin Newsom is 100% going to save us. So what Gavin Newsom decided yesterday was that they are now going to officially go and help the city of Oakland, even though they operate at a budget deficit also, to the tune of, what is it, a few $1 billion, $65 billion or something like that, $43 billion? I don't remember what it is, but check it out.
Acceptable lawlessness. That is how Governor Newsom describes the situation right now in the city of Oakland. He traveled here today to announce the moves the state is making to help the city. KTVU's Tom Vakar live tonight with the latest from Governor Newsom. Tom.
Well, that move is more troops, but it did come with some rebukes. Governor Newsom called reporters to an Oakland towing yard to announce that he's increasing the deployment of CHP officers in Oakland, doing all manner of police work in Oakland and the East Bay.
Patrol. Hey, homie, he did a press conference to announce that Oakland is a POS. Oakland is a POS, and he did his press conference in front of a tow yard.
In Oakland's hotspots, including some of the ones on Broadway, Hagenberger area, multi-agency sideshow street racing operations, combating vehicle theft, recovering stolen cargo containers at the Port of Oakland, tackling fencing operations at Oakland flea markets, and combating commercial vehicle violations in or about Oakland.
So far, the CHP has recovered 1,142 stolen cars, arrested 562 suspects, and seized 55 crime-linked guns.
Well, let me ask y'all a question, because you can put all of the police over there that you want, right? And you can say, okay, well, now California Highway Patrol and the state is going to now patrol Oakland because you are basically a failed city. You are a failed city, right? If the actual prosecution of the criminals and the laws don't change and you continue to let everybody out of jail and they can basically have no bond and be free tomorrow regardless of whether or not you arrest them or they steal a car or they out here robbing people or whatever, then what good will it do? What's the difference if they can still get out and you haven't changed the laws to then support the police officers that ultimately are the ones that's on the front lines doing the hard work and trying to catch these criminals in the first place? Now, even more CHP police power in Oakland.
We're going to move the California Highway Patrol from 42 shifts that they're currently operating in Oakland. We're going to increase that fourfold. We're going to have 162 shifts starting next week. We're going to focus over the course of the next 4 months.
To assure that those caught are really held accountable, the governor sent a notice to Alameda County District Attorney Pamela Price that the state's attorneys he offered to assist the DA will be brought back into the Attorney General's office.
Yes, we've been disappointed, the lack of engagement with the DA's office, and so we're moving forward. Rather than complaining about it, rather than lamenting about it, we're going to be moving some of the prosecution to the state of California, the Attorney General's office. We needed just to pull the plug at this stage and do something that we know will work with the AG's office.
At a Thursday afternoon press conference, District Attorney Pamela Price said this.
I cannot speak to the governor's disappointment. As I say, I'm disappointed that the governor did not reach out to me directly, and I'm disappointed that the governor did not acknowledge the efforts that our office is making.
State attorneys will prosecute Oakland cases that are complex and time-consuming. As to beleaguered Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao, Newsom says she was cooperative with the CHP coming to Oakland, but the timing of his assistance will end just before the November recall election.
We can't be here forever. We're here for the next 4 months, and we'll see what happens in the next 4 months. But we said we were firm in our commitment. We weren't going to walk away.
Mayor Tao issued this statement of gratitude to Governor Newsom for the new resources. She said after years of rising crime rates.
Wait a minute. Just the other day. Hold on. Wait. Give me a second. Now I got to do some digging. Because somebody out here lying. Somebody is out here lying. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, I got a pretty good memory. And this is why I like to do this in real time. If my memory serves me correctly, I remember somebody else saying that the crime rate was actually down 70%. Okay, so wait a minute. Let me go back. Give me a second.
Or would you move like in and out?
Oakland City Council member Treva Reed represents this district. She went to the 76 gas station on Monday to meet with the owner.
It has really shaken us in the midst of seeing a 70% plus reduction in crime.
Who's lying here? Okay, I called it when she said it because that was a trigger word. A trigger number, 70% reduction in crime. Okay, so wait a minute. Let me replay it again. This is the gas station that they caused over $100,000 in damage and $22,000 stolen out of the ATM, okay? So this is what she said.
Shaking us in the midst of seeing a 70% plus reduction in crime.
Okay, so she says, this woman right here said that there's a 70% reduction in crime in Oakland. All right? Mayor Sheng Tao comes through and says, after years of rising crime rates. What? How are you seeing a steady decrease, but you still need the Oakland Police Department to be policed by the California Highway Patrol in order for y'all to ultimately... Come on, man. Come on, bro. Listen, y'all gonna have to get y'all people together, get y'all lives together. We don't believe you. You need more people. They basically telling us that y'all robbing, stealing, killing, and is lawless out here in these streets. What are you talking about? They cooking the books over there in Oakland, man.
We are seeing a steady decrease, and we know that this is in part because of the strong partnership between the Oakland Police Department and the California Highway Patrol.
Let's go to the actual press conference itself so we can actually see what gruesome Newsom had to say. And you know that this guy is ultimately angling to one day become president of the United States of America, right?
Welcome, and thanks for coming out. My name is Sean today by our Governor Gavin Newsom on our team of officers to Oakland to assist the Oakland Police Department. Highway violence, organized crime, invusive enforcement, targeting.
So this is what they're going to target from a crime perspective because everything has completely gotten out of control. So much so that he basically rebuked the police department and almost rebuked the mayor itself, but he know that the FBI is already dealing with that.
Vehicle theft, highway violence, organized crime, in-view patrol. We called this Operation Safe Streets. Operation Safe Streets laid the groundwork for our larger law enforcement surge back in February of this year, when we deployed 120 officers and investigators to the greater East Bay. This was a joint effort with our partners throughout Alameda County and Oakland, including Oakland Police Department, Alameda County Sheriffs. During this surge, our officers conducted a variety of enforcement operations focused on traffic safety, auto theft, retail theft, cargo theft. These are central to the CHP's mission of providing the highest level of safety, service, and security to the people of California. The February operation was a success and yielded impressive results, quickly leading to the formation of a CHP dedicated crime suppression team in the East Bay. This team has been patrolling Oakland's hotspots, including some of the ones on Broadway, Hagenberger area, all in addition to the work of the CHP's Golden Gates Special Services Unit, which is conducting.
I want to hear
Turn it over to the governor.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chief, and thank you to Commissioner. Thank you to men and women of the Oakland Police Department, our partners in this effort. As the Commissioner noted, we initiated some proactive policing late last year here in Oakland. We stepped that up significantly in February with an operation to target and to saturate areas of Oakland with aggressive policing that addressed some of the heightened concerns that many of the residents and business leaders had experienced. We saw great initial success. We committed not to turn our back and walk away to the people of Oakland, but we were sober about the fact that the CHP has operations all across the state of California and cannot supplement the work that's done by local law enforcement, but can enhance it. Our job was to focus here on Oakland, but also to focus on other regions, including areas in and around the Bay Area. Regions, by the way, now across the state that include Bakersfield, where we've been running similar operations. The last 2 weeks we've been down in Riverside. We'll be talking, highlighting more about the success of that early operation, or at least the success of the last few weeks, the early part of that operation in the coming weeks and days. But we're back here in Oakland, mindful that there's still more work to be done, mindful that we need to step up our efforts and step up our resources. We're going to move the California Highway Patrol from 42 shifts that they're currently operating in Oakland. We're going to increase that fourfold. We're going to have 162 shifts starting next week. We're going to focus over the course of the next 4 months. This is not a permanent operation. It can't be a permanent operation. It's not the job of the California Highway Patrol. But over the course of the next 4 months, we're committing to keep up the intensity of this operation that, as the Commissioner noted, has already generated 1,162 stolen vehicles that have been recovered, 1,162, 562 arrests, as the Commissioner noted, and now 56 guns that are linked to crimes specifically. That's the
How many of them are still on the street? That's the question that I would ask them.
Operation to date. It's been successful, and now we're moving into this next phase. We also are mindful that we need to be more aggressive as it relates to the investigations and accountability, the prosecutions of some of these cases. Yes, we've been disappointed, the lack of engagement with the DA's office, and so we're moving forward. Rather than complaining about it, rather than lamenting about it, we're going to be moving some of the prosecution to the state of California, the Attorney General's office, for, again, targeted prosecution. This is not the job of the AG's office to assume all the responsibility of the Alameda County DA's office, quite the contrary. But we want to lessen the load. We want to address some of the more complex cases. So we'll take case by case. The AG's office could talk more about specific cases another time, but the idea is to supplement and support those efforts at the local DA's office to move forward. Unfortunately, our offer to provide California CalGuard, which we refer to as JAGS, along the lines of what we did very successfully in partnership with Brooke Jenkins in San Francisco, that was not enthusiastically embraced. So we have to move forward with a new approach with our Attorney General and our Department of Justice. So we're moving in that direction as well. I'll remind folks that this was not just a law enforcement only program, quite the contrary. I met with leaders in the community, and we said this was a holistic bottom-up approach those ongoing unprecedented investments in community building continue. We were able to hold the line broadly with our 2-year budget, balanced budget, not just for this year, but next year, and maintaining the vast majority of those investments here in Oakland and Alameda. That includes a 10-point plan with Caltrans on beautification, on cleaning up. I've been very directly involved in that. Feel like I'm mayor again, back out there on the streets, rolling up my sleeves.
Never an opportunity to continue to promote yourself. Never an opportunity to continue to promote yourself. Under your leadership, sir, San Francisco failed. San Francisco absolutely became destructive. We've seen a continued deceleration of progress inside of San Francisco prior to you becoming governor of California. And now California is failing. But he never misses an opportunity to continue to promote himself, though.
He's cleaning up some of these streets and encampments and doing some of the beautification work. That work continues. We're not walking away from that as well. But look, I'm not the mayor of Oakland. I'm not a member of the County Board of Supervisors of Alameda County. Our job is not to substitute, but again, to support the work that's being done. I want to thank the mayor's office for being a partner in these proactive programs as it relates to the policing, not a sparring partner, a working partner as it relates to these works. And that's why I'm very grateful the chief is here, and I'm very grateful for the partnership and the open hand of support the chief has provided the men and women from the Highway Patrol. Final point, just deep respect for our Highway Patrol. I've been saying this over and over and over again.
All right, this is the switch. He's just going to be taking questions after that. Sylvia says, none of this matters if they continue to catch and release criminals. The problem with what's happening in Oakland, and again, I've witnessed this and watched this in real time in my lifetime in several different cities, is that A, you're right. It doesn't matter if they catch and release the criminals because you can't solve a problem by continuing to allow for the people that are perpetuators of crime and lawlessness to go back on the streets. That's A. The second problem with this whole thing is that this is not a permanent solution. This is a temporary stopgap, which they then will use and champion and say, hey, man, we reduced crime by 70% for 4 months. For 4 months. You reduce crime because now the people are going to be back on the streets. Also, you don't have the budget. Secondly, the businesses and the business leaders in the community still don't believe in you. And just because you provide temporary help in the California Highway Patrol does not mean that the city is going to be solvent. It doesn't mean that they're going to have recruitments. Doesn't mean that the police academy will be able to have the budget to even support police going over to Oakland in the first place. And more importantly, you have unstable leadership in Mayor Shane Tao. So I'll continue to watch as Oakland continues to fall further and further into disrepair. And then I got my money on Oakland for being the next major city to file for bankruptcy, even in a supposedly good economy. All right. Thank you, Sylvia. I'm definitely about to be reading the super chat shortly because this is a SIT show. Joe Gunn says, Alameda is an island next to Oakland, so close enough. Close but no cigar. All right. High Tolerance says, insane cost of living, crime, taxes, illegals, and everything in between. Delusionals will roommate for life for the sake of good weather. People are so desperate in order to be able to be close to the water that they're willing to step over doo-doo in order to get there. Delta Fox in the building says, I met the CEO of an AI startup. Listen, stop worrying about these people that say that they're a CEO. All right? Anybody can be a CEO of their own company. You're the CEO tomorrow if you want to go and get a LLC and open up a bank account. Of an AI startup in LA last night, he said he would leave the country if Trump won in November. My reply was safe travels. I don't believe that to be true. I remember when people said that they was all going to move to Canada when Trump got elected the first time. Guess what? The population went up. It was all a lie. And then everybody benefited as a result of him becoming president of the United States of America. Now look at us. Chase Barnes says, so this is the Dems crime fighting initiative? Let's get tough on crime for 4 months away from the election. Okay. You caught it. You caught it just like I caught it. Election time, November. High Tolerance says these Cali folks are ride or die. Despite the writing being on the wall for years, they will go down on the sinking ship right off into the Pacific. I don't think so. I think that they're all moving to Texas. I think that they move into Florida. I think that they move to Nashville. I think that they absolutely 100% are going forward. Spider Clam says, give this man his prize. He gets it. He gets it. All right. But we're not just going to stop over in Oakland. Where we're also going to stop over in is Big Boy Conference. Biden. Yes, Biden did hold a news conference in which he wanted to reassure the people. I've never seen Biden paraded out into the streets in front of the people so much to try to soothe fears and make sure that everybody stay calm and I could still win this thing. They went from saying that he was supposedly, which we all knew was a lie, and that's why they started to institute this whole thing where they wanted to try to paint Trump as a career criminal. He got 91 charges over there in Georgia. He owes money up in New York because we wanted to fine him for giving box over to Stormy Daniels or whatever like that, right? And so they tried to paint his reputation to be negative and say, he's a felon. He's a felon. No, he was Teflon Don. That's pretty much what he was. So now that we got all of the visibility off of Donald Trump and that you're front and center, because again, I tell people all the time that the main thing that people say when you ask them, hey, who are you voting for in an election? Joe Biden, because it's usually boomers and Xers. Biden, I'm voting for Biden because I am a lifetime Democrat. And because I'm a lifetime Democrat, I gotta just go blue. I gotta go blue. If you only knew, that's what we voting. Blue. They can't see. One eye closed. They gotta go and get their medication, get their dialysis. You know what I'm saying? But then they go, but I tell you what, I'm definitely going blue. That was Obama's running mate, and Obama was at a basketball game the other day, and Obama had Biden behind him, and so we definitely, I'm sorry, Mabel, can you hand me my teeth? Can you hand me my teeth over there? I can't chew this. You didn't chop the meat up good enough. But no, back to what we said. I'm definitely voting Biden for president. So now that we got to focus on what you actually stand for instead of what you don't like, because again, when you ask these people, they don't say that they actually like Biden. They just say that they don't like Trump. So now we're focused on Biden. We got to focus on his policies. We got to focus on whether or not he's competent enough to even stand up and give us a coherent thought. And the people start panicking. Because when you stop focusing on all of the little circus that's going on around you, now you have to start paying attention to and having a conversation about whether or not this man is capable of being president of the United States of America. And so now we getting all of these press conferences and people running around and their hair on fire. George Clooney said, listen, we don't trust you. You need more people. We don't believe you. Okay, well, cool. So he had a big boy conference yesterday, and shout out to ABL, Anthony Brian Logan. He definitely covered this yesterday also. But he had a big boy conference. They called it the Big Boy Conference yesterday, in which he spoke to the people so that he could make sure that he gave you a little bit more confidence in what he was doing. And this is what happened.
Mr. President, your political future has hung over the NATO summit a little bit this week. Speaker Pelosi made a point of suggesting that your decision on whether to stay in the race was still open. George Clooney and a handful of lawmakers have called on you to step aside. Reuters is reporting tonight that UAW leadership is concerned about your ability to win.
Not the people he's been pandering to the whole time. The UAW? The UAW.
UAW just endorsed me, but go ahead.
Thank you. My question for you is, how are you incorporating these developments into your decision to stay? And separately, what concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
He just kept going because he thought that he actually gave a coherent thought. He genuinely thought that he gave you a coherent answer to assuage your fears. In the midst of asking a question and saying, hey man, everybody is concerned. George Clooney is saying you got problems. The UAW is starting to rethink whether or not they should have endorsed you in the first place. And right then and there, at his big boy conference, he triples down on why you should be concerned about him by referring to Kamala Harris as Vice President Trump and having confidence that Vice President Trump could eventually become President of the United States of America. Can we get a round of applause for Joe? Can we get a round of applause for Joe? Meanwhile, let me tell you something. Kamala Harris was over there at the AKA Boule conference in Dallas. People was getting thrown out, arrested. They say that black women was getting arrested in droves. I heard that Roland Martin's roly-poly butt was over there getting escorted out, and then they let him come back in with his selfie camera. Yeah, man, it's the Democratic Party is literally on fire. All we got to do is sit there and let it burn and then go to the polls in November to make sure that we do what we already said that we was going to do in the first place. But let's continue.
So let's start there. Number one, the fact is that
and they let it keep going.
The consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again. Secondly, the idea, I served in the Senate a long time. The idea that senators and congressmen running for office worry about the ticket is not unusual. And I might add, there are at least 5 presidents running or incumbent presidents who had lower numbers than I have now, later in the campaign. So there's a long way to go in this campaign. And so I'm just going to keep moving. And because, look, I got more work to do. We got more work to finish. There's so much, we've made so much progress. Think about it. Think about where we are economically relative to the rest of the world. Name me a world leader who wouldn't want to trade places with our economy. We've created over 800,000 manufacturing jobs, 1.5 million jobs. So things are moving. We got more to go.
What?
Working class people still need help.
What? You just skipped over there? Hold on.
They're moving. We got some manufacturing jobs, 1.5 million jobs. So things are moving.
Shout out to the Times, the New York Times out here in these streets. They put together, I believe, a compilation of gaffes or ways in which he was communicating that may not have been as effective as we thought they were.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Are y'all still going with this or no? I just want to know. I'm just curious. This was yesterday. This is not 2 years ago. This is not a compilation over his entire presidency from 2020 all the way up to now 2024. This is yesterday. Yesterday. We are on a world stage talking about, and I'm sure that Putin was just sitting there laughing. They watching Kim Jong-un, China, everybody all over the world, Taiwan, leadership everywhere is sitting there, and this is July 11th. This was yesterday. Yesterday, after the debate, after all of the stumbling up the plane, after being helped off the stage, this is yesterday. You still going or no? No, I want to ask my people on the fence and the people that are hardcore blue supporters. You going or no? Let me rewind it for you, for the people in the back.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
What? What is he saying? We got to worry about President. We got to beat Putin.
Beating Putin, we got to worry about it.
We got to worry about it. What is we got to worry about it? And you know he had the earpiece. Hey, no, President Zelensky. Hey, make sure you clean that up, Zelensky. Fam, you got the whole podium up there. You got your speech written out for you going up the screen. Stop going off script. Read what they put on your cards.
Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one, the fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again. I'm ready to deal with him now and 3 years from now. Look, like I said,
if it happens, listen, the man on the balloon pop show told us, he said, listen, if it happens once, that's a mistake. If it happens 2 or 3 times, whether it's the president not even being able to remember where he is, or women that decide that they want to have multiple different kids by multiple different baby daddies and getting the same results, opening up their legs and not marrying before they carry, it's the same results. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where he is, y'all. Seriously, this is, look, man, look.
Yeah, like I said, I'm dealing with Xi right now and direct contact with him. I have no good reason to talk to Putin right now. There's not much that he is prepared to do in terms of accommodating any change in his behavior. But there isn't any world leader I'm not prepared to deal with. But I understand the generic point is Putin ready to talk? I'm not ready to talk to Putin unless Putin's ready to change his behavior. Last time I talked to Putin was trying to get him to work on an arms control agreement related to nuclear weapons in space. That didn't go very far. I've taken 3 significant and intense neurological exams by a neurologist. In each case, as recently as February, and they say I'm in good shape, okay? Although,
how many of y'all actually believe this? How many of y'all actually believe what the words, listen to what he's saying as he's saying it. God got a funny sense of humor, and he's testing us. He's testing us. How many people are believing what he's saying? Listen to what he said again. Listen.
Intense. I've taken 3 significant and intense neurological exams by a neurosurgeon.
How many of y'all actually believe the words that's coming out of his mouth? Honest to God. Look at him. Look at him right now, right behind our flag. This is the leader of the free world. This is the leader of the free world. How many of y'all actually believe what he's telling you?
A neurologist. In each case, as recently as February, and they say I'm in good shape, okay? Although I do have a little problem with my left foot because it's not as sensitive because I broke my foot and didn't wear the boot. But I'm good. I've got to finish this job. I've got to finish this job because there's so much at stake. And if you looked at my schedule since I made that stupid mistake in the campaign, in the debate, I mean, my schedule has been full bore.
You earlier explained confidence in your vice president.
Yes.
If your team came back and showed you data that she would fare better against former President Donald Trump, would you reconsider your decision to stay in the race?
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you can win. Me. No one's saying that. No poll says that.
That wasn't AI. That wasn't altered nothing. It was 100% Biden speaking to you confidently to you about what he thought was going to about what he was going to happen in the upcoming presidential election. All Trump got to do is just stay out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm not going to even say nothing. Let this man drown his entire campaign 100%. Let me continue. He said, they don't say that. They don't say that. No poll is saying that. Oh, God, I can't believe that this is 2024. I thought that we were going to be flying around. When I was in high school, middle school going into high school, they said, man, by the time you graduate, we're going to have flying cars. No, we got Joe Biden and Oakland and Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Nobody could have told me that this would have been America and back in 1996 through 2000. Mashed potatoes says high tolerance. Unreal. Shout out to Vice President Trump. Shout out to the VP. We love you. Batman/Napoleon Dynamite. He was talking like he was Batman. But he can do some good voiceover work. They need to go ahead and build him his presidential library before he expire, man. We don't want no expirations. Give him his presidential library, bro. Oh, man. And I did. And I'm releasing a show to speak a little bit more about this. Hopefully I'll get it up this weekend, or maybe I'll even be able to get it up today. It depends. Anyways, neither here nor there. We got to continue on with the show. LA. We in the crack house. We in the White House. LA has become crazy. It's not enough for me to just tell you guys. The last time I was over in LA, right? I think I did a meetup, which was last year. And then also what we did was we did a walkthrough. So I had an opportunity to walk through, me and Rita. I wouldn't bring my wife next time, but me and Rita, we had an opportunity to be able to walk through LA, Skid Row, all through the side streets and stuff like that. And one of the things that I realized, also thank you for this Cash App. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to read that shortly in the super chat. One of the things that I was looking at, aside from the doo-doo that was all on the ground, because it's not just San Francisco, LA got a lot of poop bombs on the street. They everywhere. When you're walking, it's hard for you to be aware of your surroundings because you try not to step in all of these bombs that's on the street, right? But y'all don't really see it. And so this is a video that I found recently. Before we go into the fact that people can't even afford to live there and they won't even insure the houses anymore. This is a video that I found. As soon as I typed in LA, it was the first thing that popped up. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is a walkthrough of LA streets. In 2024, y'all. Shout out to Charlie Boy 313. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to his channel. 2024. Karen Bass is your mayor. Gavin Newsom is your governor. This is what you can expect to see in the daytime, in broad daylight, in Los Angeles. This is a video that was recorded less than a week ago. About a week ago. Hollywood smells like this. This is Los Angeles. Right up the street from where the Lakers play.
Jesus Christ! I love you, God.
Y'all don't see this hit y'all algorithm, so sometimes I gotta remind y'all of what's happening. It's not enough for me to just show you what happens on the news. I want you to get the real moment. Look at the streets of LA. Tents everywhere. Look, this is one of the greatest cities in the United States of America. I hate to say it. I hate to do this. Look at the streets that you have to go down in broad daylight in Los Angeles. No, this is not a third world country. No, this is not some place where you can go over and then you wind up running into a lady boy. You may in LA. This is Los Angeles, 2024. It's a video game. Are y'all watching this? Are you seeing this on your screen? Don't ever in your life, nobody over there on the West Coast, don't ever, even a little bit, ever mention Detroit. Keep Detroit's name out your mouth. Keep Detroit's name out your mouth. 100%. Don't ever, nobody over there in no capacity whatsoever, ever mention somebody else's city, knowing that this is where y'all live at, and they got the highest taxes in the land, which means that your tax dollars is not even working for you. Shout out to the super chat. I'm going to read that shortly. Look, they got the Porsche right there in front of it. They got the Porsche right there in front of it. In LA, you can look to what the United States of America is going to become. It's going to be a class war. Ain't no middle class no more. This is your tax dollars at work. Downtown Los Angeles. Downtown Los Angeles. I show my city every single day. I walk down the street, ride my bike down the streets of Detroit every single day. Every day I drop a video on what it looked like in Detroit. Jesus Christ, bro. You said Detroit looks worse? Interesting. That's funny because I just dropped a video of Detroit. I show Detroit every single day. Let me see if I can find it. It may even be some walkthrough videos of Detroit. Let me see. I might be able to get my video up. Let me show you what downtown Detroit looks like. Because I'll take that challenge. I absolutely take that challenge. A lot of people ain't never even been here. It's so funny. I just did a video about this earlier today. This is what downtown Detroit looks like. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Right there. That's Little Caesars Arena. You see the houses that's across the street from it? Literally right up the street from my office. I'm right here. I'm looking at it right now. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to let you see my bias. I'm going to look at somebody else. 2024, right? I'll even do a year ago. It's way better than this. We'll do a year ago. Let's do a year ago. Walk through Detroit in the daytime. In the early morning before the people even come out. This is the streets of Detroit. This is what I see every single day. I literally just typed it in and pulled it up. This is the city. This is where I'll be vlogging at. That's Campus Martius. That's the core, the center of downtown Detroit. Microsoft is there. They building a whole new Hudson building. Hudson, you see the Hudson building over there on the left-hand side? That's where GM's new headquarters are. Where are all of these homeless people that you talk about? I catch the Q line, I catch the people mover. I live in downtown Detroit. Where's all of these places that you're talking about? Greektown is right across the street. They do yoga. They do yoga in the park. You can find some of the baddest chicks every single day in Detroit, right there where they do movies in the park. The little kids come up. We have the Rocket Mortgage Classic. They do yoga right there on the grass in the middle of downtown Detroit. StockX headquarters, Sugar Factory right there, Gucci store right up the street. Now you tell me and help me to understand the difference between downtown LA and downtown Detroit, because it's always gonna be crime everywhere. It's always gonna be pockets, it's always gonna be places where it gets bad. In every city and every place in America, there's going to have its bad parts. But if you telling me that downtown LA look better than downtown Detroit, you a lie. You a lie, and the truth ain't in you. This is what I see every single day. Right over there, it's a beach, a day club and a beach. Right across over there where you see the fountains, let me fast forward to you. You see the beach over there? That's where we hang out in the daytime. Where's all of these homeless people that you talk about? You see the beach? That's where we hang out. That's where me and my daughter was literally last weekend. A lot of people talk about it, but they don't know. Literally, a lot of people talk about it, but they have no clue whatsoever. And we're going to be doing Afro beats, and I'm going to be hanging out and busting it down a bag at Afro beats right there. And we looking right at Canada. So please miss me with the nonsense. Anyway, let's go over. So I want to pivot one more time, and I want to talk about why a lot of people are actually leaving LA that's not even a part of downtown.
State Farm Insurance looking to raise their rates yet again for their customers right here in California. The company is requesting a 30% increase for homeowners. NBC4's Tracy Leong is live in Sierra Madre.
You know what's so funny? You know the thing that I see on a regular basis? Forget this video. We ain't even going to go into that. You know what I see? They say show the whole downtown. Okay, it's a whole walkthrough. Let's go to one walkthrough. That's where they set up the Grand Prix, right there. You go across the street, you can actually look at, that's GM right there. This is the Spirit of Detroit, where the Coleman A. Young building is. All right? If you go a little bit further, and you keep walking, this is the other streets of downtown. What else do you want to see? What else you want to see? Want me to keep going? Google and Microsoft take up residence inside of Little Caesars Arena. This is where the Q line is, and the Q line is free, and they run up and down Woodward. What else do you want to see? I do these videos every single day where I show the city. Comerica Park is right there across the street. So, while they sit there and complain and whine about it, and you know that this is really the city, why they sit there and complain and whine about it, get your city together. Hold your leaders accountable. Hold your leaders accountable. Hold your leaders accountable. Anyways, let me go ahead and pivot. I was about to have a conversation about something else. Sitting here talking about my city. Now, my city is different. My city is different. We don't see illegal immigrants everywhere begging. We don't see tent cities. That's not here. Not one tent do I see on a regular basis. I mean, you know what happens? And this is the honest to God truth. When I wake up in the morning and I'm going through the streets and I'm on my way and I'm on my bike into the office, I do my vlog. Every day I see them power washing the streets. Every day I see them power washing the streets of Detroit. They cleaning up the streets. They getting the trash. They making sure the people is taken care of. I don't want to hear it. So shout out to Oakland and shout out to California. Y'all need help. Y'all got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do, big dog. You ain't been to Detroit recently. Don't talk about Detroit, what it was 5 years ago. Tell me about what it is today. Tell me about what it is today. What up to my dog 2K? I went to Detroit 5 years ago. Talk about now. What does it look like now? Jamal Fowler says, what up, though? I appreciate you, Jamal Fowler. What's happening, my dog? P. Shank says, good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels on the Millionaire Morning Show. What up, P. Shank? We putting people in their place and we going to expose the truth. I recently asked a homegirl in Cali what's been going on out there. She said, it's not that bad. Don't believe everything that you hear. I went out to Cali. I'll be out in Cali. Why do homeless people have dogs? I don't know. Support companion. I have no idea. They don't know that Shane Park. They don't even call it Shane Park no more. What is it? The Aretha Franklin Amphitheater or something like that? I think it's like the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. Ask Angry Man. Matter of fact, I don't even know if Angry Man is up. It was so funny because when Angry Man came through, don't believe what the news tell you.
Your call has been forwarded to voice.
Shout out to my dog AM. Hopefully he hit me back before the end of the show. Anyways, let's continue on. They so mad. They so mad. They so in denial. Somebody said, would you move to Cali if you were in tech? Hell no. There's way better places that you can go to than California. I would never move to California under no circumstances. I would never move to California. I don't care if I was in a tech or not. I would never move to California. Let's move on with the show. Property taxes. I do want to have a conversation about this because I'm not going to throw Chicago under the bus, but I do want to have a conversation about one of the reasons why people are choosing to leave Illinois and Chicago. Property taxes. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And I'm going to explain to you why they up.
We begin with some new finger pointing over soaring property tax bills in the suburbs.
Tia Ewing's been tracking this story from the very beginning.
I said, well, how come the first installment I got the exemption, and this one, I don't have it. And she told me, we don't have a record of you ever filing the form, which I filed every year.
John Tennyson is a Vietnam vet declared 100% disabled by the VA. He showed me his previous tax bill for his home on Lunt Avenue in Chicago.
You know, $6,200 tax bill is insane for a lot of these properties that you look at in Chicago. And this has actually happened across the country, but the tax rates in Illinois is insane, bro. I was talking to a buddy of mine. He was actually the manager of a rapper, a really well-known rapper, and he lived in Chicago. The actual manager lived in Chicago. Maybe not the rapper, but the manager lives in Chicago, right? And I was talking to him, and he was like, yo, Ton, it's insane out here, bro. It's insane out here, bro. And I was like, what you mean? He said, man, I got a 10,000. He said, my property ain't even that expensive. He said, man, I'm paying over $10,000 and $12,000 a year in taxes and property taxes alone for the summertime. I was like, I said, wait, what? I said, property taxes, is that insane? I can understand if you live in somewhere like Texas, because a lot of the times the property taxes offset what they're not charging you in income taxes. And I don't necessarily rock with the property taxes and the property tax rates that's going on in Texas, Nashville, even Vegas, Nevada, Florida. Property taxes is insane in a lot of those places. But for a place like Chicago, to have property tax bills like this means that you basically still renting. You still renting. You're still renting. Even if you pay your property off, and this is in addition to whatever you're paying for your mortgage, interest rates, all of that, you're still renting for the rest of your life. And if you don't pay it, they could take your property and sell it at auction in order to be able to get their tax money.
I
just want to highlight on this paper, you can see the row of zeros under 2022.
Now it's over $6,200, and he's pleading for help. Tennyson isn't the only one.
So my taxes are every 3 months, $3,402.86.
Every 3 months, her taxes is $3,400 a month. Family, that's more than $13,000 a year. For a regular property, over $13,000 a year in property taxes? Man, get on out of here with that junk, bro. Hell no. Hell no. And you know what the worst part about it is? It's still going to continue to go up. It's still going to continue to go up.
And I live in Steger, Illinois.
My taxes are $10,500, and I live in Flossmoor, Illinois.
And our taxes are $10,100.
Look at that regular house. That is a regular, normal, pretty, clean, beautiful, everyday house. That is not a beachfront crib. That ain't some high rise. That ain't none of that. That is a regular home, and these people are being driven out of their cribs because they cannot afford the property taxes in the places that they live at.
$82, and I live in Orland Park.
My taxes is $11,029.41, and I live in Matson, Illinois.
I Zoomed with 5 homeowners.
Let me look at this. Well, it's not fair because that's just a piece of land. So this piece of land, that's not fair for me to say this. I'm telling y'all, I'm giving y'all the blueprint. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as print to the top of the chat. The piece of land, now this goes without the actual, whatever. This is a piece of land, the property taxes that I got for winter. $249. Oh, man. Let me look at some of this. I didn't know we was going to be doing this. I just got a whole bunch of property tax bills, not that one. I just got a whole bunch of property tax bills recently. It's pretty crazy that this is happening. Here's a pink one. Property taxes. And this is one of the really, really nice suburbs of Detroit. And you can go and look it up. You can Google it right now. This is what my property taxes. And I keep telling y'all need to get up out of these certain cities. You can see it. It says summer. So you see where it says summer 2024? Amount due, $1,200. Summer 2024, amount due, $1,200. Let me see if I can find another one for y'all. You can look up West Bloomfield and see how nice it is. See if I can find another one for y'all. I need to dump my book bag. That's what I need to do. Is this one? All right. Anton don't own no properties. All right, here's a better one. Summer 2024. I'll give you this one. I don't want y'all to see the parcel ID number or nothing like that. Total. That's it. $3,900. That's it. So I don't know what's going on in a lot of these cities. I don't know what's going on in a lot of these places, but Illinois got some crazy property taxes. You got to go where you can afford to live. You got to get involved with your legislative branches. A lot of y'all keep saying, Anton, it don't matter what we vote. This is one of the exact reasons why it matters how you vote. Local elections affect you more than national elections. Local elections affect you more than national elections. So when I tell y'all, listen, you got to participate in your legislative branches. You got to know who the people are that's determining what your millages are, what your property taxes are, what's happening all across the board. You can't keep voting the same way, expecting different results, knowing that you're going to get leadership that don't help you.
Mostly in the south suburbs.
I was at zero. I had the senior exemption for the last 3 billings or however they do it. Okay, this is all together. One bombshell dropped on me for the second installment. It's $2,530.
All of them are dealing with increased property taxes in Cook County. 1/3 of the nearly 2 million properties are missing exemptions on their tax bills. Others feel their properties were reassessed incorrectly.
A lot of people ask me, how am I able to keep my rent so low for the people that rent to me? Well, I'm able to minimize the cost because I don't have to pass those over to the consumers because I outright own the properties. And then the only things that I'm paying for is the property taxes and then any repairs that may happen. But because my renters are willing to take care of all of the repairs and they're not worried about that, then I just cover the property taxes. I minimize the amount that they have to pay in rent. And so they don't have to get kicked out and we continue to be happy people. Now they never, ever move out of my property. They're incentivized to take care of it. And I don't have to be dealing with somebody that's a problem tenant. They live there forever. Literally, I've never had a tenant move out. I've never increased the rents on any of my tenants once they agree to a rate, which means that I have to make a strategic decision as a business owner to what is this long-term going to look like and anticipate and costs later. And then everybody is happy. That's how you minimize the amount of money that you're charging your tenants instead of trying to squeeze them for every single dollar. I want them to take care of the property. I'm going to minimize the cost for you. I'm going to pass that savings on to the consumer. Now you don't have to worry about whether or not you can afford to live wherever it is that you're going to live.
Have come to assessor offices across Cook County, hoping to get issues resolved. So far, for tax year 2023, 12,240 certificate of errors have been issued. At least 4,000 of those were for land values being incorrect. Corrections can be made in person on the spot.
Look at all those people there.
I sat down with Fritz Kagi, the Cook County assessor, to get some answers.
The Cook County Board Review, they reduced commercial properties by $1 billion, leading to commercial bills coming down dramatically for folks like Walmart and Home Depot, while their residential neighbors' bills are going up in a huge way. Cuts like that added 4 percentage points of the tax burden on the homeowners, leaving them with more burden than they had before. That's why their bills, largely in the south suburbs, went up more than the levies that are levied on them by school districts and homeowners, and I'm super concerned about that.
Kagi gave real examples of big tax reductions for big business.
In Cicero, there's a Walmart that had its tax bill fall by $250,000. That's basically the size of several hundred.
Y'all want to know, because I'll go in a deeper dive into how I run my rental properties and how I'm able to keep tenants. Why I've never had a problem with anybody paying their rent on time. Sometimes they be late like a week or so, but I don't really care about that. I've never charged my tenants a late fee. I've never had any problems. I can have a live stream. I can do a live stream about that separately inside of the Patreon for the bag chasers, about how to keep tenants, how to price your properties, because the way I've already released the video inside of the Patreon. So for the bag chasers, make sure you go and watch that video of what I break down as far as the 3 ways that people tend to make money when it comes to real estate as far as investing in single family homes and individual properties in real estate in a way that I make money when it comes to real estate and how I'm leveraging that strategy in order to prevent myself from paying more taxes to the federal government legally. I will do a live stream, or I can do a video where I break down exactly how I screen my tenants, what my strategy is in order to keep them there, how I keep them happy, why I never have any problems. I've never had to evict anyone. I could do a whole breakdown of that inside of the Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And everybody is happy. I'm happy. They happy. I don't worry about nothing. I never have to go over there. Maybe once every 3 months, I'll drive by in order to check on the properties and stuff like that. So we can go over that. I can give y'all my real estate strategy when it comes to that. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats or a super chat, and then I'm gonna move over into the last part of the show. Crook County, you call it Crook County? It's horrible over there, man. They over there raping y'all. Literally, they taking advantage of y'all, and they running it up because they haven't managed the budgets effectively, and so now they need to pass that cost over to the consumer because you are the ones that's going to pay for the mistakes of your legislators. That's why it's important for you to pay attention in your local politics. All right, y'all, let's continue over into the last part of the show. I did want to end this by, it's an interesting video that I seen with regard to CNBC. And they were breaking down about how companies are now investing in robots, AI-powered robots, and whether or not they were going to replace us in our jobs coming in the future. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get it popping, y'all.
Hey, Digit, take the box with the heaviest animal and move it to Tower 4.
Why do you say being a landlord is not for the weak, Eric Daniels? Being a landlord is very easy. It is very, I may get a call maybe once every 3 or 4 months. From 17 properties, I may get a call once every 3 or 4 months. And it's for something big. Hey, the air is out. You know, it usually happens up to the summer or something like that. Hey, the air is out. You know, I'll send a, person that's going over there, HVAC tech or something, and I may have to replace a furnace or replace the air unit itself if, it's an outdated unit and I got to give it the utmost up-to-date one. That's it. Being a landlord is very, very, very easy, bro. It is, if you do it the right way and you're not pressured financially and you treat your people right and you build a great relationship and you vet your tenants effectively, you will have zero problems as a landlord. You will have that. I'm telling you, they lying to you. You can absolutely put yourself in the best position possible to be able to benefit when it comes to being a landlord. And the problem is that everybody is looking to take advantage of everybody instead of looking to build a relationship with the people.
Is Digit, a robot who sort of looks like a person, hence the name humanoid robot. Technically, these are called bipedal humanoid robots. Using semantic intelligence, it's able to interpret commands from people and then make its own decisions about how to act. So the goal is for him to be able to interpret.
Somebody said, do I do inspections in my home? I do not. I have no reason to do inspections in my home. The only time that I have to do an inspection in a home is if the city says, well, you know what I'm saying, you got to make sure that you meet this expectation or I have to do something big. So usually I'm able to every year do like an assessment per home. And then I'll go and say, okay, well, eventually the roof is going to have to be replaced on that home, or we want to eventually replace the driveway. And I'll communicate with the tenant. But everybody is really clean. Everybody is really dope. And so I don't really have any reason to ever do an inspection, no. I very rarely ever have to go inside of a home, ever, unless I'm going in there with a maintenance guy to make sure that everything is taken care of. But I never, ever do inspections on a home. Nope.
Normal human language to say, hey, I need you to pick this box up. Help me out in this instance. Is that where you see this going?
Yeah, and I think it will generally be probably less of a, I need you to do this one thing for me, and more of a, do this for me forever in the corner of the facility.
Robots like this one are catching the attention and billions of investment dollars from big tech companies like Amazon, Google, Nvidia, and Microsoft. Elon Musk is betting the future of Tesla on these machines.
As you see Optimus develop, it's really going to transform.
Was that inside of the Cybertruck?
As you see Optimus develop.
Listen, what you see robots look like right now, especially with all of the investment in AI technology and the development of these chips, it's going to be vastly different and it's going to be much more developed than it is today. What we're looking at in 2024 is going to be way different than what it looks like in 2027. It's going to be more advanced. Robots are basically going to be assisting people, or basically we're going to be assisting robots and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. I believe that when people ask me, hey, what industry should I go in and this and that and this and that, the first thing that comes to my mind is what will largely benefit you as far as playing a role in what is happening in the future. One thing that robots won't be able to do is manage themselves. So I always look to cybersecurity. I always look at cloud infrastructure. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking at things that's ultimately future-proof for maybe the next 20 to 25 years that is going to be critical, which means that they're willing to invest in a lot of money in that, because the one thing you don't want is your systems to be hacked, right? There's always going to be a future in cybersecurity. It's always going to be a future in cloud infrastructure. There's always going to be a future in software engineering, even if they go through a lull when they're doing layoffs. You see what I'm saying? So you have to start future-proofing the industries that you go in and stop getting basket weaving degrees or going into African-American studies.
It's really going to transform the world, I think, to a degree even greater than the cars.
Some also argue robots
we just need a lot of migrants in the meantime.
It can solve the world's labor crisis, filling jobs that are too dangerous or that people simply don't want. They may even replace an aging workforce as people around the world have fewer kids.
Today in manufacturing, we're short about 300,000 people, and it's something very similar in warehousing and logistics. So we're somewhere around 600,000-700,000 jobs we can't fill.
The idea of robots isn't exactly new.
Here I am, sir.
So why all the sudden attention? The big driver, artificial intelligence. These bots have seen quantum leaps in what they're capable of in just the past few years, thanks to AI.
Generative AI is really a key.
Audie, you said Detroit looks like paradise compared to Los Angeles. I'm thinking about moving there, but that car insurance is crazy. I don't use a car, really. The queue line is free. The people mover is free. I live, work, and play all in the same place. And most of the time, I would say 90% of the time that I hear, I actually ride my bike. I be on my bike. I got an e-bike. Most of the people that stop me and see me in the streets be like, what up, Anton? And I stop and I kick it with them on my e-bike. And then in the wintertime or other stuff like that, I actually catch the people mover, I catch the queue line. Or I'll just catch an Uber to where I'm going. But everything that I do, mostly, you don't really need a car like that. In downtown Detroit specifically. Now, if you're working in other places or stuff like that, then you may need a car. But if you live, work, and play in most of the same area, which it seems like most people are doing, you don't need a car here like that. You can get around pretty easily.
Unlock overall for what you can get a robot to do, let alone a humanoid robot.
Robotics is where AI meets reality.
We are really at the cusp of solving one of the grand challenges of humanity. It'll change labor forever.
There is probably a need in the future once the humanoids get a bit more clever, a bit more perhaps autonomy. But until that point, I think the market will be fairly limited to PR spectacles.
It all sounds great, but will we ever trust robots working in our houses, schools, and nursing homes? Will they ever be?
That look insane, bro. When they start putting faces on it, you can kiss y'all relationships goodbye. When they start putting faces on these people, on these robots, you can kiss your relationships goodbye. It's over. Because now they're not going to have to deal with no balloon pop shows. I can only imagine why the circuitry is going to go bad in the middle of y'all robots.
Safe enough, and how lifelike is too lifelike? And how should the U.S. think about global adversaries building similar fleets of humanoids? CNBC explores the rise of these AI-driven humanoids and if they're really—
Christopher, I said if you live in downtown Detroit and you live, work, and play in the same area, you do not need a car.
Cure-all for our global workforce problems, or if this is another tech bubble. This hardware has been around for decades. Companies like Boston Dynamics, Honda, Sony, and others have wowed the public with early versions of these robots.
Why would we want humanoids? The prevailing sort of answer has been the world is built to be occupied by humans.
So we want robots that are versatile, that can do a wide range of things. Then having it adopt the humanoid form factor always made a lot of sense.
Recent leaps in artificial intelligence have resulted in leaps for robotics. The data that they use to train these robots, it's based in real-world scenarios. Now, a robot can be trained the same way a human is.
We have this technology called teleoperation. The person does the thing 200 times. We record all that data, and then we use that data to train these models. And the AI models are very similar to the GPT-style generative AI models. You feed in the 200 trajectories, and the system learns how the task is being done, and then the robot will do the task.
You know who spoke on this long time ago, back in what, 2020? Or was it 2016? It may have been 2020. You know who was speaking on this in 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017? Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang was speaking on this, and he said, listen, the things that y'all are distracted by and the things that y'all are focusing on when it comes to manufacturing, jobs, and all of this stuff, it is absolutely off base. Every candidate that is out here talking to you guys right now are talking to y'all emotions. They're not talking about how industries are going to disrupt. This is what we need to focus on. We need to figure out how it is that we can modify, manage, tax, all of this stuff. Andrew Yang was the only political candidate, and it didn't resonate with people because it didn't tap into their emotions, and that's why he lost. He lost in New York. He lost when it came to the presidential race. He lost all across the board, but he was talking about this. And he absolutely was giving detailed policy. He had a website where he gave policy, and he was addressing exactly what it is that we're dealing with in 2024 and 2028 and 2032. He was addressing exactly what this was and why we needed to have serious conversations from a legislative perspective and also from a human perspective of how we were going to deal with this instead of playing catch up and then letting the legislators then be influenced by lobbyists to determine how it is that we're going to interact with robots. He 100% was addressing what was going on. I don't know if he would have been a great president because, you know, it's other things that he probably lacked on, but he absolutely was addressing this in his campaigns. 100%.
Autonomously.
If I go into a new space, I'm now not looking at spending months trying to code that problem. I can potentially just generate it straight out of Gen AI and be able to have Digit interact with new objects and in new environments without having to develop it all.
AI models require massive quantities of data to train off of, and this is no different.
If you show the robot enough things, it starts to be able to do things that it hasn't been shown before.
Big tech is very interested in the big potential this technology promises.
If you're going to do AI at the frontier, you need to be partnered with Microsoft or NVIDIA or Google or one of the big players. There's just no other way. They have resources that nobody else has, even governments.
NVIDIA's been a great partner up to this point. We're using everything from their hardware to their simulation, and then recently have started working with them on foundation models as well.
One of this industry's biggest proponents is Elon Musk. He's made some bold predictions that Tesla's robot, Optimus, could propel it to a $25 trillion market cap and that it will amount to a majority of Tesla's long-term value, with demand as high as 10 to 20 billion units.
What did I say that Tesla was on Stock Club? And I'm not going to deep dive into it because we got a Stock Club coming up as soon as I can get some time and clear off my schedule. What did I say about Tesla? Don't type it in the chat. This is a rhetorical question. What did I say about Tesla when it comes to an investment, looking at it from an investment perspective? So many people are so focused on their cars. It's not what Tesla is. Tesla is not a car manufacturer. Tesla is a technology company that manufactures cars. Tesla is a technology company that manufactures cars. Cars are just one part of the overall goal and vision for the company and how it is that they generate revenue in order to keep shareholders happy and to make sure that they're continuing to make as much money as possible. Driving out the cost of it, then comes the technology aspect of it. If they can then upend an industry, or in other words, if they can disrupt the industry, they will. And one of the industries that they're trying to get ahead of and that they've been aggressively investing in, which is the same thing when it came to electrification of vehicles. Now everybody is switching to hybrid motors because of regulations that's coming in worldwide and stuff like that. And eventually they're going to go over to electrification. Is Tesla is basically building an infrastructure, both technologically and physically out in the real world, that's going to support what it is that we roll with in the future. Tesla makes a huge amount of money selling credits. Tesla makes a huge amount of money now by basically licensing the ability for other manufacturers to allow for their customers to use their Cyberchargers or their Tesla chargers, right? Because they've already built the infrastructure behind it, and that's how they continue to make their money. Now they're saying, listen, the technology behind what we've been training our models to do is going to power and it's going to drive the stock price to this point because we don't compare ourselves against Toyota. We compare ourselves against Microsoft. We compare ourselves against NVIDIA. We compare ourselves against Apple. We compare ourselves against multiple different things in different industries that then determine what our stock price is going to be. So if you compare them to Toyota, you can say, well, okay, well, Toyota is making this much per quarter. They're a very, very traditional company. They have a lot of stability. It doesn't matter whether we're going through a pandemic or if we're going through the recession. Toyota has been a reliable company when it comes to auto manufacturers. Well, why is Tesla valued so much greater than Toyota? Because Tesla doesn't look at itself as a car manufacturer, so their stock price is not going to be reflective of what a traditional car manufacturer is going to be. It's going to be reflective of their future state and what they're investing in that ultimately is going to determine what the value of the company is. It all comes back down to the money.
Tesla is arguably the world's biggest robotics company because our cars are like semi-sentient robots on wheels. And with the full self-driving computer and all the neural nets, it kind of makes sense to put that onto a humanoid form. And it's intended to be friendly, of course, and navigate through a world built for humans and eliminate dangerous, repetitive, and boring tasks.
Musk isn't alone in believing humanoid robots could change the world. Investors are pouring millions into startups, with the market expected to grow to $38 billion by 2035.
The funding that has gone into some of these companies has been absolutely huge. And I think that kind of they parallel with the AI funding.
This is the biggest market in the world. I mean, effectively, this has the potential to change the way we live and work pretty dramatically.
So basically what they're telling you is that disruption is coming. And so I know it's something that we rail against. So we say, well, we don't want this or whatever. It's going to take American jobs. It's coming. It's been here. It's already here. It's already invested in. People are embracing it. It's going to happen. The question that you have to ask yourself is, how can you participate in it and how can you profit from it? That's the only question that's left to be answered from you. Fighting it, like my man Thanos says, you can run from it. You can't run from it. It just is what it is. We're always going to continue to evolve. The question that you have to ask yourself is, do you want to continue to benefit from it, or do you want to just continue to fight what's coming inevitably? Or you could be like the Hebrew Israelites and just wait to the end of the world and hope that you make it into heaven, which we know that a lot of them is going to have to answer for what they do to their wives. Neither here nor there. That's a whole nother conversation. Let me read some of these super chats and cash apps, and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here for the day. Victoria, thank you. I appreciate you. Also, my love, thank you for the cash app. And then Brian Hunter says, great information, vote in local elections. No, they don't want to know why it's important to vote in local elections. But you know what they want to do? Complain about their property tax bills. That's then determined by their legislators. Miss Crow T. Shetty says, this is the best morning show on earth. I tend to agree with you. Shout out to Miss Crow T. Shetty. Skill Tree Gaming says, is 10% what I'd be looking at for an out-of-state property management company? I live in California, but I'm looking to buy in South Carolina because I can afford 20% down. A lot of property management companies do charge 10%. I don't use a property management company. I do not use a property management company. What do I need a property management company for? My goal as a businessman, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm doing content creation or real estate or corporate America or whatever, my goal as a businessman is to drive up profit, drive down costs, and then limit problems that could potentially put me in a position to where I have to basically take a lot of profit out of the company in order to continue to fix these issues. Your biggest costs are going to be administrative costs. It's going to be people, hiring people, all of that stuff. I don't mind spending money on the properties. I don't want to spend money on trying to automate the process and then minimize the amount of, I'm not doing it. I don't need a property management company. I never, ever, 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 ever. What do I need a property management company for? Okay, so they call me or they text me, oh, Anton, I'm having a problem with my dishwasher. Okay, I'll send a repair tech over there. Send a repair tech says, the dishwasher need to be changed. Cool. Go on Home Depot, order one, or I have him order one. Usually, this is how I usually manage it. If they say a problem is wrong, I go and confirm that it's wrong. And then after I confirm that it's wrong, I ask them how they want to handle it. Do they want me to handle it, or do they want to handle it and then just take it out of the rent? They said, oh, we'll handle it. We'll send you a receipt and we'll take it out of the rent. I said, give yourself a little extra $100 in order to make my life easier. You know what I'm saying? So usually they order it. They have it installed. We can have it professionally installed. And then I tell them to take it out of the rent. They send me the difference in the rent and I'm still profitable. That's for most of the small problems. Any big problems, I'll take care of it. I'll have a professional come over there and do it. I don't need no property management company. I'm not giving you 10% of what it is that I generate on my stuff. That's $4,000 a month. I'm not giving you $4,000 a month, $3,900 a month to manage my properties. Get out of that, bro. They say, how do you do that if it's out of state time? I don't invest in anything out of state. I invest everything in the place that I live at because I know it. I know the school systems. I know everything that's around me. I know what the crime is in certain areas. I know which areas is going to be on the come up. And so because I understand my industry and I live and work and play and I can go and actually see exactly what's going on. I know what communities is great. I know where the HOA fees are. I know where the hoods are. And so I don't invest out of state. I invest in state. I've never invested in a property out of state ever. All right. Shout out to Skill Tree Gaming. I appreciate you. Sister, shout out to Sister. Mr. AD, are robots being put in boxing matches again? I haven't seen one. That'd be crazy if you've seen something like that. Soul Pop says, robot babysitter will open up time for parents. Nope. People still want that human touch on certain things. Spider Clamp in the building says, are they going to tax robots like they do humans? That's what Andrew Yang was talking about, but they're probably just going to tax the profits on the company. They can't tax the robots itself. High Tolerance says, say it one more time for the bots in the back, for the bots in the chat. Shout out to the bots in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Tech Coach Ralph is in the building, says, we stream using a brand new AWS App Studio to build an app using Gen AI. We told it what we wanted, and it built it in 10 minutes. Crazy. That's crazy, bro. Carla R says, one offed himself, got sick of 9 to 6 p.m. every day. Big J all day says the new bodyguards are going to be a bunch of chappies. I don't know but see, that's got to pass legislation, so we'll see. Greatest show to listen to at work. Shout out to my dog King Manasseh. I appreciate you, big dog. Donnie says, no. There's a chance they can come alive without need of humans. That's the crazy part. That's what Will Smith told us, but we'll see what happens. It don't matter. We already killing ourselves anyway. It can't be any worse than going over and having to deal with the monsters in Chicago and Oakland. I'll be sending you an email about the Police Scanner channel on YouTube. Oh, so somebody did decide that they wanted to take care of it. Doing commentary live streaming. You spoke about it earlier this week. All right, cool. Send it to me. I'll give you a little bit of alley-oop, and hopefully I can get some visibility to your channel. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We about at the 2-hour mark. Hopefully y'all are entertained, and I added some value into y'all lives. You up 62% in Rivian? Congratulations. That must be a bag chaser. That's a bag chaser that's running that up. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to rock out with me. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley 40% off your first order, plus 20% off of life. And then make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all on After Hours tonight. Peace. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth, man.